Hey guys, I'm Carlos Colon with Georgia Perimeter Homes, and today we're going to be talking about what is a seller's market. What is a seller's market? Number one, okay, some of the aspects of a seller's market, and this is going to be mainly what we cover in bullet point here. Number one is going to be low inventory. What is inventory? Inventory is how many homes are for sale on the market at any given time. So if you can imagine when you go to a store and there's no toilet paper, toilet paper's in low inventory. So same idea when it comes to housing. So when there's less houses on the market, you have more buyers fighting for those same houses. And so, for that reason, the seller kind of gets to pick and choose, the best offers out of the bunch, which it leads straight into the second bullet point, or the second symptom of a seller's market, which is going to be high demand. Demand is basically how many buyers are on the market fighting for the same housing, or the same houses that are for sale right now. When you have high demand, you could end up being in multiple offer situations. That's one of the things that ends up happening. So some of the things that you might notice is a house might be on the market for 10 to 15 days, and right when you go to look at it, it just so happens that two other people are really interested in it as well. So, and then at that point, you're fighting for the same house, so you end up making better terms so that the seller picks you. So that's when you get into that, what we call a multiple offer situation, where there's a bunch of offers on the line, or really more than one. And so you get into bidding wars is what happens. And what we call bidding wars is when people are going, hey, I've got the better deal, I'll offer you more money for it. If you can imagine, when you're doing that, you're going to end up paying more, or closer to full asking price, sometimes above full asking price than you would otherwise. So that's the reason why that's important. So seller gets better numbers when it comes to their offers. And then they also get to choose what loan type. So believe it or not, not every loan type is viewed the same in a seller's eyes. And so it really depends on their timing, when they want to move, what are the conditions of the loan. So, we'll go into what different kind of loan types there are, and what you need to do is really just understand those. That'll be a separate video by itself. So again, check that in the channel so that you understand what the differences are between them. But just to briefly kind of cover what we're talking about is VA, for example, has different requirements. So no matter what, you have to get a termite clearance letter report on the home, and you have to get, if it's on septic, you also have to get a septic report as well. So whereas a conventional loan doesn't require that, you can still ask for it, but it doesn't require it. So also some of these loans can close quicker than others. A conventional or a cash loan can close very quickly versus a USDA that might take 40-45 days to close. And so those things that play a big part in, does the seller choose you as part of the loan. So make sure you speak to your agent about that, and they'll be able to inform you on which route to go. And it's probably easier for you to negotiate. So the next thing that you'll start to see is going to be number 3, an increase in home values. So when you have these bidding wars, your home values will start to continue to increase. Now, this depends on where you live, what the price is, and what the average sales price really is, so it's all relative. But when you have bidding wars and you have a seller's market, typically those home values will continue to increase pretty significantly when you've got people bidding against each other for the same houses. So that's also another thing that you need to be careful for, because appraisals don't always agree with what you're willing to pay for the house. So if you're getting a loan for a house, just keep that in mind, is just because they want $200,000 for the house, so to say, and you've got 3 people bidding against it, and one says, I'll give you a $225,000, that doesn't mean that the bank is going to loan or be willing to loan, or $225,000 rather. That doesn't mean that the bank is going to be willing to loan $225,000 on it. The bank will get an appraisal, and that will determine whether the bank can pay $225,000 for it. So the buyers might say one thing on the offer, but at the end of the day, if they're getting a loan, the bank is going to be really the determining factor as to whether they can actually pay that for it. And the last thing is going to be the contract terms are going to benefit the seller. It's kind of what we touched a little bit on the bidding war, so to say, but you'll get shorter closing times. Sometimes you'll get temporary occupancy, which means the sellers get to stay in the home after closing for a certain amount of time to help them move out. You'll see less requirements on special stipulations, which means if you're the seller, for example, you might not get asked anything. They might take the home as is rather than having to ask for repairs during that due diligence period. So a lot of these terms will benefit the seller during a seller's market. So it always depends on the situation. If you see a house that's been on the market for 90 days, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be more willing to drop the price dramatically. But you do have an advantage at that point. So take advantage of it before you have a bunch of people fighting against each other for that same house. So that's it, you guys. If you guys want more information on a seller's market or a home analysis, check out the links below in the description, and check out our website at www.georgiaperimeterhomes.com. Thanks. Take care. Bye.